All right, this is recording 799799. The name of this recording is Listen Next 799. You can find me at Christina Station 918 or speaking to the CIA.com or Christina Station 918.com. Okay, so here we go. I was reminded of when I was little. And you know my previous podcast where I've told you that when she's using ice on me as I'm growing up when I'm little, she even controlled the little jokes that I said. They all freaking mean something. So anyway, I was reminded of this one joke, and then they were like, she did this to you too. And I literally think, I'm rephrasing the words on this, I literally think it was Jean reminding me of it, because she snuck back and went, thank you. So she's telling me that she did that to me, but I'm like rephrasing it because I don't accept anything from her. I'm turning her ass in. Anyway, so here's the joke. Okay, so this is a little joke I used to say when I was little. So there was a lady. She got pregnant, and I was in grade school. Telling this joke. She got pregnant. She went to the doctor. The doctor said, she said, I don't want to have the baby. And the doctor said, okay, you want to have an abortion? There's a new way of going about having an abortion. And she said, what's that? And he said, drink this every day. He gave her some juice or something. And he goes, drink this every day for 30 days. And after that, your baby will die. It'll be gone. And so anyway, so the month goes by, and this lady drinks this juice every single day, right? So people are already freaking out. So anyway, so the 30 days goes by, and the whole time, I'm sorry, not the 30 days, the 9 months. She's like drinking it until the baby dies. So anyway, she's like, the more she drinks it, her stomach keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So she goes to the doctor and she's like, this isn't working. And he goes, it looks like you're about to go into delivery. So they go into delivery, and he goes, wait, I'm not rephrasing, stop telling my speech. Let me remember how the joke goes. So he goes, she was like telling him, oh, this is what he said. I'm sorry. He said, drink this juice every day, and you need to pound on your left chi-chi, your boob. And he goes, you need to pound on your left chi-chi. So every day she drank this juice and she pounded on her left chi-chi. And she kept doing it over and over and over, but her stomach kept getting bigger. So she goes to the doctor, and she's like, and her boob is like all flattened and bruised and swollen and everything. Oh my God. Jean Roberts is Charles Manson. I'm talking through Christina. She is literally freaking stalking the shit out of Christina. This is insane. Oh my God. So anyway, okay, so she's like, well, I pounded on my left chi-chi, and I've been drinking this juice every day, but my stomach keeps getting bigger. And so the doctor goes, well, you're about to go into delivery. And so they go into the delivery room, right? And so out comes this dead baby. Okay, she delivers a dead baby. All right. Then next out comes a little baby boy. And he's dancing on the table, on the delivery table. And he's singing a song. And this is what he sings. He goes, you got my baby brother, but you didn't catch me. Ba 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 ba. I was hiding behind the right chi-chi. So, this is a joke that I used to say when I was in grade school. So let's break this down, shall we? Let me prove to you that Jean Roberts is the leader of Charles Manson. If you can't already tell from the joke she's icing me to tell my friends, let me prove to you again that Jean Roberts is the leader of Charles Manson. She's sucking the shit out of me and my family. She used ice on me all of my life, which is robotic control. She thinks I'm her little science experiment. And she did the World Trade Center attack. And you're gonna want to go into what I show you deeper to see if any future terrorism she has planned is there, or you might want to just hang a noose over her and threaten the shit out of her. Okay, so here we go. So this connects to the Chi-Chis. Okay, remember my last recording on the boobs and all that? Okay, so you know about her. I'm not going to name the company, but we all know the company. You all know that's run by Charles Manson. Her racket. Okay, so you also know about her icing my mom and Jeff when I was little. I was only like 5 or 6 years old, and they bought me a little stuffed monkey, and it was my favorite stuffed animal, and my mom named it Drunk Monkey. Okay, so you're going to see all my decode around Drunk Monkey. There's a ton of it. I decoded a ton of it. Jean Roberts wrote all kind of damn demonic ciphers all around my Drunk Monkey. So anyway, okay, so it also goes to all my other podcasts of her assaulting me and everything else, like when I was a baby, when I was 2 months old. Okay, so now, and then she uses that for her theme today, all pre-planned for her theme today, which you guys know what that is, her Charles Manson mixed with Synanon theme, and then she runs her little con, and she makes her terror money and commits terrorism, and then she pretends that she's saving the children when she's nothing but a goddamn hippie terrorist perp that needs to be arrested. So, okay, so anyway, this also goes to later on, okay, not very many years later after I was telling this joke in grade school. Okay, this goes to two different things, okay? So I've already decoded both of these, so it's to both lanes that I'm going here, okay? So later on, out comes the Japanese product, a hugely popular toy for children, Mon-Chi-Chi, which is a stuffed monkey. So that came from my Drunk Monkey, and that also came from that joke. And you already get all the juice references and all of that. Okay, so anyway, it also goes to where I decoded her assaulting all kinds of people in the Olympics. She ices Olympians, okay? And I've decoded several crimes that she's committed against Olympians, such as Nancy Kerrigan. Even Nancy Kerrigan's last name is close to Jernigan. Nancy Kerrigan, and then your dad's friend Nancy and Carl. Nancy Kerrigan, and then Tanya Harding. I decoded all of that. I mean, you can even tell in Tanya Harding's last name. So anyway, Carrie Strug, she broke Carrie Strug's ankle, even her last name Strug. There's a lot of Olympians, okay? Remember Lance Armstrong, the bicyclist, which would go to Lance Mountain, Powell Peralta. Okay, and then Michael Phelps. I mean, there's a ton of Olympians that she's assaulted, okay? So anyway, she also planned to commit terrorism at Olympic events, okay? One of them was the Atlanta Olympics, and that terror attack was thwarted. However, Jean Roberts and her Manson occult is the one that planned the terror attack, and Jean Roberts needs to be arrested for it. So anyway, one of the Olympics that I decode, and this is like really old ciphers because I'm going back into my childhood and decoding my childhood and everything she did to me around my childhood. So I decode all this stuff out, and she keeps talking about Seoul, Korea. Okay, and I know that they had an Olympics in Seoul, Korea, but I don't know if that has to do with the Seoul, Korea Olympics. I just keep seeing Seoul everywhere. So then it also goes to the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics that were in the ones that were in Los Angeles, okay? And my grandparents were blessed enough to be able to go see the Olympics. And they came back and they bought us Misha bears. So change, and it was my favorite stuffed bear too. I love my little Misha bear. It was a little teddy bear with a little Olympian belt on it, and I decoded the heck out of it looking for future terrorism. So you can see the Mish goes to MASH, and then the Chi-Chi, Mon-Chi-Chi. So you can see Jean's got this whole monkey theme going, body part theme, okay? So anyway, so those came out, okay? So anyway, so I'm like looking for in the Misha bears, in the creation of the Misha bears, looking for evidence of future terrorism there. I decode the heck out of everything. I like unravel an entire world dominion terror plot of Gene Roberts. So, and it's taken me 10 years to figure all this out. So anyway, so what also goes to this is later on, oh my God, she freaking did that too. So later on, now I'm an adult, okay, fast forward a lot of years. And this, I think it came out in the 2000s. I don't think it came out in the 90s. I think it came out in the 2000s. The show, The OC, you remember that? Okay. And what's his name was on there? I always got a kick out of him because he combined Hanukkah and Christmas and he called it Christmaka. Okay, the one kid on it was from, the character was from Chino, okay? And Chino is the location of where one of the prison, where the jail or prison is that Patricia Krenwinkel was, which is another person in Charles Manson, was in jail in Chino, California. And I decoded all of this. And then you know that chinos are pants and everything else. So anyway, so I decode. So then, you know, see the OC, then that goes to OJ, and then the Jew. So she's like linking us all, like, she is like stalking the shit out of me. The goddamn fucking Charles Manson, Nicole. And I'm sorry, she's putting curse words in my speech. Okay, so there's some couple things I want to point out to you here more. So, okay, if you go research the Mon-Chi-Chi, the stuffed animal, you're going to want to look at Sekiguchi. Inside that, you can see Mrs. Keegan, my next door neighbor that lived next to me on East and Cottonwood when I was little, in Globe. You see all the ciphers I decoded around Mrs. Keegan. You can see a whole bunch in this. She tore the heck out of this. But inside this is Dry Drunk and Dry Gulch. Also inside, there's a reference in here also to stucco. Like stucco, the siding on the that people put on their houses out west. Okay, so there's a reference to stucco in this. And there's also a reference to ASU in this. And the reference to stucco, she's making a reference to me on the sun deck when I was little in grade school, and there was stucco on the sun deck, and I used to sit and peel it off. I was constantly peeling it off. Then I decode more of that, and I see she's making a reference to me like peeling a banana. She's calling me a monkey and saying I'm peeling a banana. And then you're going to want to see what she did with the banana peel. I decoded that inside, decoding her direct World Trade Center plot. She uses the lambda symbol, but she curves it like an ocean wave, and she turns it into a banana peel. And there's a whole bunch of, she uses monkey references everywhere, okay? So you're going to see that bit of Nyla. I know you already know from my podcast. So anyway, also she's making a reference to Pissant here, okay? So remember when I told you my little friend Corey that lived at the bottom of the hill, and we were sitting out on the sidewalk out on the street, and the piss ants started freaking attacking the shit out of us. We call them piss ants. They call them fire ants. But we're kids. That's what we call them, piss ants. So anyway, I decode more of this, and then I realized she is referring to my Aunt Susan Cook, okay? So you can see my Aunt Susan Cook, which is Jeff's sister's name, is inside Stucco. Then also, she sold Amway. I'm seeing if that's in here. That's in here. And then she's using my Aunt Susan Cook to make a reference to Susan Atkins. Okay, so all this goes together. So then another thing that she did was, okay, in the same house that I grew up in, there was a wall in the front yard, and we were at the top of East and Cottonwood, 306 East Street. So when I was little, like I told you, I decoded a ton around this, her planning to crash and steal China economy, or threatening the China wall, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, and she's using me as her little like terror freaking doll freaking theme, and like trafficking the freaking crap out of me and icing the shit out of me and stalking my entire family, which none of this is stopping today. People pretend that I'm literally not myself, Christina. They pretend that they're me. They steal everything from me. They run around spreading lies. They help cover Gene Roberts' ass. And then she goes and funnels the money, and then more terror attacks happen because I decode the terror attacks. I know that she's committing the terror attacks because I see them in the news. I decode because it's the same patterns as Gene goddamn Roberts committing terrorism, and Gene gets away with it. But thank God, the major Ku Klux Klan bust, and I want to applaud Kash Patel for the major bust, and I can't wait till you arrest the rest of these Ku Klux Klan Manson effers. I need to be in witness protection. Gene Roberts needs to be arrested. I'm tired of it. A lot of people are tired of it. It's getting old, okay? But I need to keep reminding you and keep letting you know as she commits crime. The more I make you aware of what she's done, the more info you have to thwart any terror attack she's about to commit. Because she's always got future planned terrorism in it. So, anyway, okay. So, anyway, inside this, I would jump on the wall. So, I would start at the lowest part of the wall and jump, and then go steeper, go higher on the wall, and then try to jump to see how far. And that's a future sign of 9/11. And it's a future sign of her saying, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to sacrifice you. I'm going to do the World Trade Center attack and blame it all on you, and you're going to plunge to your death. In a big, gigantic white wall, because I was on a white wall jumping. So, anyway, so I see that Japan is in this, so, right, because this is Japanese, so, she's obsessed with Asia. She wants to blame everything on Asia. Well, of course, she wants to blame everything on everybody she's run her racket and her game on. Anybody she pretends to be or pretends to be best friends with is someone she has annihilated in some way, shape, or form. And as you know, they're talking to me through my voice. They're saying to me, as I know, people are well aware of Gene Roberts' con. So, anyway, so Japan, I'm realizing when I'm going through this, Japan, the word Japan is mixed with jumping. And then somebody told me she's using an Asian leader. I think it's a China leader's name in here too. So I'm like, that's something that she combined. Okay. So what I call cross reduction. So what's left in that is AA Japan and Germany. AAUMIG. Okay? So in this more is the Misha Bears, Los Angeles, the MiG plane. Get this, she did this too. Remember when she killed Wojtek Frykowski? I purposely named his say his name wrong. She took his life. He's one of the Charles Manson victims. Because when I was decoding all the Charles Manson victims' names, I was like, oh my God. So anyway, she's using his name to stand for Voyeur Technology, okay? I told you, she ripped off artificial intelligence in the 60s. Okay. And so, I'm not going to repeat all of this because you have all my podcasts, you have all the history of all this. So anyway, so this is in there. So augment. And then also you jumping the concrete, you jumping the cement, augment. So, okay. So augments, you already know Leo, you already know the number 8. Okay, which she always uses zodiac references and everything. All her crimes she commits, you can always find zodiac references. So augmented reality, voyeur tech, and then she's using augment, and then she combines it with autumn. So she's pre-planning again to do the World Trade Center attack, which was in the fall. Then inside this, unbelievable, is American Airlines and United Airlines. Then inside this is probably I don't know how to say the word, realty, like real estate, which is probably connected to future her planning to do the Alfred P. Murrah building. Because remember I told you when I decoded her committing the Oklahoma City bombing, she was bragging about a land run and she was grabbing all kinds of real estate, and then she pre-planned all these bubbles and crashes. Okay, so anyway, so Trans-Caribbean is in it, okay? And then they were formed in my year of birth, 1971. Okay, so this continues more. So here's some highlights on Trans-Caribbean Airways. So TSA, Trans-Caribbean Airways. So then the TSA happens after TCA. Someone else said she also did marshals too, when you went to Marshall Fields, and then she pre-planned for air marshals. So anyway, was an irregular air carrier, United States Charter Airline, until 1957, when it was certified by the Civil Aeronautics Board, CAB, an international carrier to fly from New York City to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Okay, so you can see right here more evidence of her pre-planning civil war. Okay, so 5 and 7 is 12. 12 equals 0, so that is all references to her future plannings of war, and then her future plannings of her Charles Manson planning civil war. So anyway, and you also know how she used highways. Okay, her little frame-a-thon, which is what she's heavily trying to push today, because she's trying to attract to the people that she's trying to con. People are wise to it or not wise to it. I'm making reports to the CIA. So I turn in the kingpin, Gene Roberts. If you got conned by Gene, I'd stop helping Gene and turn her in. So anyway, as you know, she uses highways as a theme. The United States highways as a theme, as a plan for future road terrorism. But she also, in all the crimes she commits, she uses roads and themes in her assassination plots, okay? People she planned to kill, okay? So, and people she did kill. So, the 57 one, that one, like, Highway 57 runs north and south. So again, Civil War reference, okay? It runs north and south in Illinois, okay? When I think of Highway 57, I think of Chicago. Woo! I freaking love Chicago, because I keep my normal life. And I also turn in a terrorist bitch. I'm not playing around. You gotta arrest a bitch. So anyway, so she used a lot of the highways. She used 57 was one of the highways, probably because she was making a reference to the mob, is probably what she was doing, because she likes to pretend like she's the mob too. But all the SNL murders, quote unquote, the mysterious SNL deaths, they were murders. Or people are held hostage and kidnapped, okay? I don't know if they are alive or gone. I don't know. And people are like aggressively like controlling my speech while I speak. So I decoded all the missing people from SNL, and it's all wrapped around highways, United States highways, and Highway 57 was one of them. And okay, so you can tell she's pre-planning for civil war. So then, okay, so TCA therefore operated as a small scheduled airline specializing in flying from New York and later Washington, D.C. to the Caribbean, adding a smaller number of additional routes over time until it was purchased by American Airlines in 1971. Okay, and then my birthday's in this. I told you this lady wants to kill me. She's wanted to kill me before I was born. I'm a freaking Scorpio child. She's like, this girl's gonna be born and I'm gonna kill her. And I'm gonna get my little sacrificial jollies and I'm just gonna have my way and get away with it. And no, you're not, Gene Roberts. You're going to jail. So anyway, okay, so here's more, all right? So they ceased operations March 2nd, 1971, the year I was born. Okay, so if you take... March is the third month, okay? If you take my month of birth, November, even that, November and March, NM and MN. So, and even the M, Scorpio, the Scorpio symbol. So, if you take November minus March, that's 11 minus 3, that's a 9, okay? And that leaves you with 9-2. Which is also the year of my youngest son's birth. If you take 9-2 and you prime out 9-2, if you take 2, it's 1 plus 1, so then that's 9-11. She pre-planned to do 9-11. Also, something she did was merging into American Airlines. Also, remember when I decoded when I was little in grade school, sitting on the front porch in Easton, Cottonwood 306 East Street, and I was playing with the pickup sticks and the jacks and all of that. Okay, and I decoded on the kaleidoscope, I decoded all that out, and I end up unfolding a major freaking terror plot, which includes a World Trade Center attack, Oklahoma City bombing, all kinds of future terrorism, okay? So... anyway, and I told you it's a 5-sided die, because what is a jack? It's like a 5-sided die. So anyway, so the jumping jacks, like you do jumping jacks, that's a start. Also goes to Da Vinci. It will go to the jacks of playing jacks, and also note the ball. Okay, so the ball also goes to when I was same age, when I was going to East Globe Elementary, and I got in trouble for stealing the boys' marbles. And I stole jumbo marbles. Okay, remember I was telling you about the Steelies and the jumbo marbles, and that's a future sign of her doing the World Trade Center attack, jumbo jets. Okay, even that, New York Jets. So anyway, so also she's making a reference to jumping beans. So again, me jumping off the thing. And then also when she ice raped me when I was 3 to bust open the gigantic bean bag that my mom and Sergio had. And then also something else she did, which I've always known this is Gonda stuff, but I'm like, how many more nursery rhymes can I decode that Gina's tore the shit out of to plan to commit terrorism and kill everybody? And then on top of learning where they originally come from. I mean, it really is Grimm's fairy tales. So anyway, so one of the little rhymes I used to say when I was little was firecracker, firecracker, boom, boom, boom. Okay, she did that too, because you look at FC, and then the BBB. Okay, so the boom, boom, boom says bomb, bomb, bomb. Okay, and then also, Something else she did. Okay, I'm switching. Let me skip down here. So, also something else she had forwarding ahead, and I got to meet this guy, the actor in My Brain and Mental Telepathy when I lived in Oklahoma City. Gene was on literally trying to. I was on the military, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And Jean was acting a dang fool on the other side. And then she turned around and threatened him and said she was just gonna, like, she's just gonna steal my identity and get the hell away with. And she started acting like she was me. And she was acting like she was you before you were even in Oklahoma City. Jean Roberts has been lying to people the whole time. So anyway, she was doing all kinds of like really. Jean was being her goddamn dumbass evil, grotesque ass self. But anyway, he came on like to cheer me up. I was highly, highly, highly upset, and he made me laugh so hard I was almost in tears. But it was Ben Stiller, okay? So, anyway, I really, really love that guy. So anyway, so she uses Ben Stiller, the Steelies and the jumbo marbles. She uses Ben Stiller. And then also I marry Ben. She arranges my relation. She arranged all of my relationships. I love 2 of my husbands. I keep all the blessings of everything, and I turn Jean in for stalking the shit out of all of us. So anyway, it's more evidence her stalking my future husband, now past Ben. Okay, so Ben is addicted to, just like my first husband is addicted to, the Dallas Cowboys. So this goes all the way back to the 70s again, the Cowboys versus the who? The Steelers. So anyway, okay, moving forward, other things that Jean also did was the Scarlet Letter, Easy A. Okay, so she's making an Alcoholics Anonymous reference there. Easy does it, so she did that too. And she's trying to like vilify me by lying about me, making me wear some artificial scarlet letter based on her goddamn Ku Klux Klan lies. And I'm like, no, bitch. I'm going to keep turning your terrorist ass in. The only people that listen to you are temporarily duped, temporarily naive, and sickos. All intelligence listens to my podcast. They want to know what the heck you've been up to. And they want to know who all your people are and where all your people are. So anyway, okay, so another thing she did that was pointed out to me today, on my way into work, I was like, oh my God, she did that too. So remember me decoding all the column attacks, and you're going to want to see the same reference as where this podcast started, okay? All of her Charles Vance and everything. Okay, so she uses column as a theme in committing terrorism, okay? COLUM. So, which another thing that she did was, remember how I told you she uses a cross-reduce method of like combining words? They wanted to point out the combine also goes to her doing the Columbine shooting, which everybody knows she did it, but it's more evidence that she did it. Then also, they said she also used the phrase kit and caboodle. They pointed out to me listening to my latest podcast. Kit and caboodle. Remember when I was in living in Globe when I was little again, and I told you about the shish kebabs on the sun deck, and then I find out by decoding that she freaking did Sharon Noble. I decode the whole thing. It's all like around my entire childhood. Okay, so anyway, they wanted to point out the caboodle points to, so you got the KAB or the CAB, but they want to point out the doodling, the writing on the wall, how she likes to write on the death to pigs and all of that. So she did that too. So that is the end of this recording.